past 6:35 maybe. Sorry for those that are late, myself particularly. Appreciate Ms. Brown signing in. At this time, the meeting is called to order. I'm going to ask our Vice Chairman to do the invocation and Mr. Dave Murray to do our pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Our Creator and our Maker, we come this evening with thanksgiving in our hearts. We come asking you, our Heavenly Father, continue to bless us with wisdom and knowledge and understanding as we make the decision to enhance the quality of life all the citizens of this county. As we come on this special call meeting tonight, you asking you to be with us. Continue to bless the sick and the shut in and the bereaved family, wherever they may be. We ask all these blessings in your son's name, Jesus, forever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we'll have roll call. Ms. Barnes?
Bernie Handy.
Present.
Charles Jennings.
Present.
Chuck Cook.
Present.
Jackie Brown.
Present.
David Marr.
Present.
James Upchurch.
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum at this time. We will entertain Ms. Parks, our speaker for tonight about our village.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I will be reading the resolution, the 325-3-25, and it's to accept the millage setting. The 2025-26 taxable assessed value of collectibles in McCormick County for county purposes is $61,644,858. Therefore, the anticipated value of a meal will be $61,645. The levy for the county general obligation will be set at 133.2 mills. The levy for the county general obligation bonds Series 2023 will be set at 3.2 mills. The levy for the county general obligation bonds Series 2020 will be set at 6.7 mills. The total taxable assessed value of collectibles for school purposes is $33,206,648. Therefore, the anticipated value of a meal will be $33,206. The levy for the school general obligation will be set at 154.6 mills. The levy for the school general obligation bonds, Series 2025, will be set at 24.3 mills. The total taxable assessed value of collectibles for Savannah Lakes District is $30,289,183. Therefore, the anticipated value of a meal will be $30,289. The levy for Savannah Lakes District will be set at 9.5 mills. County local option sales tax credit factor will be set at 0.000413. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, before we go into decision item, does council have any questions for Ms. Parks?
Just one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cook.
The on the levy for the school general obligation, should, well, both for the levy for county general obligation and for the school. Normally, I think that has been worded as for the operational purposes of the school district and the county. I don't know that there's, I'm not sure what the general obligation is. I know what a general obligation bond is, but I think it's just a minor
Maybe
point.
wording, I may have did that wrong.
Yeah.
I think it should be operational.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
it's actually in the resolution, it says for school general obligation bonds and also for school operational bonds. If you look up in the top of the actual resolution, it has it separated out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Any further comments from Ms. Parks? My final comment before we vote is that to see the value of our meal, almost 62,000, I can reflect back, Mr. Jennings, when I was first elected, it was barely over $20,000. So we are continuing to grow and prosper, and it's a blessing to see that number increase, and I appreciate that.
And Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I go back, it was less than 10,000.
That's,
So we have made a lot of progress because I came before, during the time the government was releasing the land out of the SLB. And it have made, when it comes to residential, we have really been blessed here in McCormick County to see the continued the growth. Thank you.
and Ms. Parks, too, want to thank you and our finance director, Mr. Dave, and our Mr. Upchurch, not Churchill. He corrected me last week. I said, that's a famous name, either way you look at it. But anyway, appreciate it. I know we had a few little issues with numbers, and they worked hard together to correct them, and we're pleased with these numbers, and I know a lot of time has been spent to make this happen, so
Right,
thank you.
yes.
And we appreciate you.
Thank you.
At this time, decision item resolution 03-25, council to consider accepting the millage for fiscal 2025, 2026. Council consider this resolution. What do I hear?
So moved.
Second.
second.
Any further discussion? Hear none. All
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Mr. Cook first.
One thing,
Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
if we look at what the resolutions are for now, when we look down at the bottom, on the bottom of the resolution, which the meal values are and the amounts, we'll notice the increase is not very much for the number of meals. As stated earlier, it's just because of the value of the meal having been increased. And in looking at the budgeting process, the way we count budgeting now as opposed to the way it was counted previously with the previous administration.
That's correct. Good point. Mr. Cook?
Yeah. All right, Red.
Thank you, Jackie. Listen, I strongly support this. I think we need to move forward. A lot of work has been put into this to make sure that the figures accurately reflect the rollback provisions of Act 388 of 2006. And I think the decreases in the millage rates for the county, for the school district, for the operational bonds, both of the county and the school district, and for SLV reflect the fact that the appraised value of our properties are going up in the county, and as a result, based on the requirements of law, our millage rates have to go down in order to match the increase in revenues that we're going to collect as a result of higher assessed values. Now there are some good things and there are some not so good things about that. I have some reservations which I have expressed repeatedly with respect to the ability of the county to finance its operations during this fiscal year. We had the opportunity under the law to, based on the consumer price index and the growth of the population in the county, to increase our millage levy by, I think it's 4.96 mils.
Correct.
We have chosen not to take advantage of that for a number of reasons. But not approving this resolution would delay issuance of the tax notices, and it would, if we had to propose an amendment to this that involved an amendment to the budget ordinance that we passed last June, it would require additional time and 3 readings in a public hearing, and I'm not sure that's something that we can or need to go through. But I do have some concerns. As we go through this process, we are continuing to be uncertain in a lot of ways with respect to how much cash we're going to have left over at the end of this fiscal year. I think James and the staff are doing an excellent job with respect to trying to find innovative ways to reduce our expenditures as much as possible to make the scarce resources that we have under these millage rates and this rollback go as far as possible. And I encourage them to continue that process. But trying to save money through the expenditure process only goes so far. We have department heads, the sheriff's department, EMS, and a lot of other departments within the county that have continually come to Mr. Upchurch begging for additional staff. And as the county grows, we're going to have to find a way to meet those needs if we're going to continue to adequately service the citizens of this county, and that's going to take some additional resources. If we don't take a millage increase this year, the likely alternative is that we're going to be faced with minimal resources and cash balances going into the next fiscal year. Now, there are 2 options that are available to us. If we come up short during this fiscal year, we can always get a tax anticipation note or do a loan or whatever. Or if we find that that we're cash poor at the beginning of the next fiscal year, we can do a tax anticipation note or a loan at the beginning of the fiscal year. The problem is that we go into that fiscal year one way or the other, depending upon how cash poor we are, with debt servicing that has to be covered with the next fiscal year budget, which means that we're going to, in some way, have to raise more money to do that if we're not going into the next fiscal year with a significant cash balance. In my view, and I have expressed this when we passed the budget in June, raising our millage rates a few mills at a time is much more desirable than going through an entire process and then finding at the beginning of the next fiscal year or even the year after that we have to have significant millage increases. We need not only to buttress the resources that we have available as this county grows, but we also need to replenish the cash balances that we have reduced substantially over the last 5 or 6 years. And there are obviously some options to that. But the way we're doing it now is we pass a budget And we really don't know at the beginning of the year when we pass those figures whether or not those funds are actually going to be spent on the items for which we appropriated them. And David Leathers is a good example. David, how many years in a row have you had money in the budget for a new automated financial system? 4. Okay. Do you have a new automated financial system at the moment? Waiting for the decision. Now, just because the money is in the budget does not mean that that money is going to get spent. Because if we have other needs that arise, if we have other priorities that may come up, if we have other emergencies, then we are free at the moment to take funds, essentially doing rescissions from one part of the budget and add them to the other without coming back to council or without any significant review. Yes, council has to approve significant expenditures, but under those circumstances, council has a very, very difficult time in terms of moving ahead with its priorities with an uncertain budget. And I think that's something that we need to rectify. Basically, what that means is if we're going to spend the money in the budget for which it was originally allocated, and we're going to have funds for emergency and other ad hoc situations, then we need to add some kind of contingency fund to keep a cash balance to handle those kinds of situations. And right now, since we have depleted our existing cash balance and we're going to probably go into the next fiscal year with very little in terms of cash balance, we're not going to have very much money for contingencies. And if David wants his financial system, which I think he desperately needs in order for council and the public to have the information they need to assess whether or not we're adequately spending our funds, then I think we need a better system in order to track that. Right now, it simply takes too long and too much effort to try to find out where we stand financially. It takes too long to get all of that information together and compile it. So, with reservations and with admonitions for the future of this county, I think we need to seriously consider the option, particularly during the coming fiscal year, of beginning to increase our millage rates enough so that we have a contingency fund and we adequately pay our bills without having to do a tax anticipation note or loans, and we replenish our cash balances. I think that's important. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cook. To add to what he has shared, we definitely understand his position, and where I sit, I definitely hear him loud and clear and making plans for us this coming year to do more workshops, come up with a strategic plan as much as even a financial plan at the first of the year. We're actually looking at scheduling our first workshop in November to begin this process a lot earlier. And let us not forget the situation we found ourselves in this past financial period. We had our administrator resign or retire, and then we hired an interim and tasked him as soon as he came here to do a budget for us, which is very difficult to walk in, a part-timer basically walk in and try to figure out all our needs and wants and desires. And not only that, understand we hit with a reassessment, and also that the rollback, all that's figured into. So I want the public to rest assured that we are going to do a much better job financially planning in this year that we're in now. And that means more workshops, more, being able, each one of us to voice our concerns and opinions, and then all of us together make a good decision as the recommendations you have met. I totally agree with many of them. But we can't overlook where we come from, what we went through, and just thankful where we are now. And we're gonna work through these issues, and it'll be for the betterment of our county. Any other comments,
No more.
Mr. Jennings?
The future of McCormick County still looks good. If I wouldn't be sitting up in on county council, I'd be getting scared now. So we still making progress. You're gonna always need to do this and need to do that, and don't do that and don't do that. But you stay within the law and you continue to make progress. There's some things you can do and some things you can't do. This county is growing, but we still have limited resources. And we're working on it. We're trying to bring business to this county, and that is to help offset some of the growth, because residents just can't do it alone. And when you bring business, that means you bring young people. You got to work for it. But if you ain't got nothing but residential, then you got just senior. Sooner or later, that come to be a cost. It look good one day, but after a while, it won't look good, because we get old. And you know what happens when we start getting old? We start going back home or going to a home. And so all that to consider. But the future of McCormick County still look bright. And so we still got things to stay positive. So, and that's my take on it. To stay positive.
Anyone else? Seeing no other one else, could I get a vote on those supporting this resolution? All in favor, right hand. Carry. Good deal. Thank y'all much. Got to get a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor, right hand. Thank y'all much for coming out.
Thank you.
Have a good-
Thanks to the auditor.
Have a good, trip, Miss Jackie.
All right, thanks a lot.
See you, Jackie.
Take care, guys.
Right. Good evening.
Where's she going, McCormick? Where's she at?
I'm not sure, she's,
Thank you for my sister.